afternoon. Welcome back. Stu Mac back again for another video. We have just arrived back last night from a trip to London, so I had 3 days off the gym and we're ready to get back into it, back into a nice push day. Now, we were in London for Savannah's birthday, which was unreal. Winter Wonderland in Hyde Park was 10 out of 10. I'll stick some clips above this now just to show you what it was like. The rides were fantastic, the food was fantastic, even the shows they had in between, unreal. I would definitely recommend Winter Wonderland to anyone at any age, but especially if you have kids. The rest of the trip was more about walking around, seeing the sights, the things we've done before, the London Bridge, the Shard. We went to Camden, which was pretty cool, very artsy, and we even got to step by the Gymshark store. One thing to note about me is I am an absolute Gymshark fanboy. If you go to my Instagram and scroll down for the last 8-9 years, I've been a massive supporter of Gymshark, of the athletes. It borders on an obsession. So to be in the store, especially around Black Friday, where they had fantastic offers on, was surreal. It was great. Unfortunately, I didn't see anyone recognisable. Ben Francis wasn't floating about. We didn't have any of the athletes floating about. But being in the store was enough for me. It was just something I wanted to tick off. Other than that, the atmosphere in London, the busyness, the rush that you get walking around the shops around Christmas time, everyone's hustling and bustling in the hundreds. And we went to the Chelsea, Christmas light show, which again, I'll stick some clips over this. The Christmas lights were fantastic. There was thousands of people that you'll see in the clip. There was fireworks, the camaraderie, the joy, the cheer, mulled wine being served in the middle of the street. It was just something different to what I'm used to seeing in Belfast. We have our own festivities here, but nowhere near on that level. So yeah, that's the weekend, all caught up, nice and exciting. We slacked on the gym, we slacked on our diet. We were accountable to some extent, but a lot more relaxed than what we would normally be. And I'm ready and excited to get back for another day of training, get back to schedule, get back to routine. So yeah, push day today on International Chest Day. So stick around, we'll go through the workout. What is going on, guys? Now, unfortunately, I made a boo-boo. I didn't check that the audio was switched on. So as you can see in the video, I'm talking, but you can't hear a thing because I am a big, stupid, dumb head. So we're going to do the very first voiceover. So hopefully you like it. We'll get back to normal in the next video. But for now, there's no point wasting the footage when we can actually make use of it. So here we are, our first voiceover. Give me a bit of feedback. Let me know what you think about a voiceover. Because if it's a format that you prefer, then again, we can look into it. But back to the video. So it was a push day and we're starting off with my favourite exercise, which is the seated cable flies. Now, with these, obviously you have the seat in the upright position. The position of the actual movement itself, first and foremost, my shoulders are rolled back, my chest is up, and I'm nice and tight. Now, I'm not going too wide when it comes to the actual reps. It's almost like a bear hug position, focusing on getting a nice deep stretch at the lengthened part of the movement and then squeezing those inner elbows together in that shortened part of the movement. So squeezing those two arms as tight as I possibly can together, but not overextending. You're sort of driving your arms into your chest. Now, with every movement, I always preach tempo, tempo, tempo. As you can see by this, looking the way back. So we'll wait to the next rep. So on the way back, 1, 2, 3. So 3 seconds for the eccentric or the negative part of the movement. And the reason for that is muscle is built under tension. When you put your muscles under tension and over time you increase that tension, that's where the growth comes from. Your body starts to think to itself, right, okay, I need to have more muscle, more strength in order to cope with the pressure that it's being put under, essentially. Now, we're on a second set here, and the rep range, to be honest, I can't really remember, but we did 2 sets, 2 feeler sets, then 2 working sets, and now we've moved on to the incline Smith bench. Now, the trouble is, I don't know what I'm actually saying in this video. I'm doing the audio or the voiceover a couple of days after, but I'll talk you through this movement as well. So as you can see, 2 plates each side, nothing crazy, but the rep range for this is 5 to 10 reps. And I mentioned before in the last video, I'm focusing more on building strength at this point and less on the intensity of the workout. So same principle, 3 seconds down, drive straight back up again, full range of motion, pushing those arms right at the end, but not overextending those shoulders. Now, I think on this one I get 6 reps. As you can see, we're still struggling there, so we're going toward the failure mark. It's important to try and push toward failure because that's where strength's built. There's no point in getting into a comfortable position, having 4 or 5 reps left in the tank, because you're not going to build strength that way. Now, you can see we've dropped the weight down ever so slightly, down to a plate and a 15 each side. And we're going for the same rep range, hopefully matching, or if not, beating the last set by maybe 1 rep. And again, focusing on that tempo, 1, 2, 3, drive. Drive. There you go, almost to that failure mark, as you can see. Right, so on to the next pushing movement, my goodness. On to the next movement, seated shoulder press, and I prefer this over a standard shoulder press with dumbbells because it takes away the requirement to stabilize the weight, and the focus is entirely on the movement, the A to B movement, whereas with dumbbells you have to get them up, which is energy wasted. You have to focus on stabilizing the weight, which is energy wasted. I just feel that you're going to get more bang for your buck using a seated press. So again, we started off with 2 plates, 5 to 10 reps, same as the last exercise, focusing on that tempo. So as you can see, we went for 1 last rep. We went straight to failure because we couldn't complete the rep. Dropping down the weight ever so slightly, going for the same rep range. So driving straight up into the air, heels pushed into the ground. 1, 2, 3, drive. 1, 2, 3. And in my head, typically I'm counting most of the time when I'm in the gym. And it's not something I always did. It's more something that's been drummed into me by my coach. And because I've done it now for the last, say, 6 weeks, it's become a habit. So in my head, I'll be very conscious of the tempo. 1, 2, 3, and then on the way up, focusing on pushing toward that failure mark. This whole voiceover situation's a bit odd. It's strange to try and keep up with the video and narrate, because normally in the actual video, I wouldn't be talking the entire time. But if I don't talk now, it's going to be awkward. So I'm trying to narrate the whole way through the video. Now, incline chest press with dumbbells. This isn't a movement I normally do or haven't done in quite a while. I do the machine, plate loaded machine typically, but it was taken. So we went on to the dumbbells and we worked up to 40 kilo for our working set, which for me, a year or so ago, 40 kilo wasn't a problem whatsoever when I was starting off my chest exercises. But I'm deep into the workout now and I haven't done chest press in a while. So as you can see, I struggled a bit there to get a full set. Oh, here we go. The tank top is out. The jumper is off. How do you like my new Gymshark tank top? I got that in the store. Black Friday sales, £13.50. What a win. We've dropped down the weight and changed the angle of the camera. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, drive. And this is the last set. Again, focusing on the tempo, just trying to make sure that we get the best out of every rep. There's no point in going in and focusing on moving the weight just from A to B. It's all about being optimal and getting as much as you can out of each rep as possible. The idea here is we want to build muscle, nothing else. So that's chest press done. And now we're on to, I believe, side delt raises. But we'll wait for the video to catch up. It is indeed. Absolutely love this movement. This gives you an unholy pump. I was someone that traditionally used dumbbells, but again, my coach sort of converted me over to the cable machine, and the connection you get on this, and especially on that negative part of the movement, is far superior to that you would get on dumbbells. In my experience, I feel like I get so much more out of this than I do dumbbells. Now, there's different benefits to every movement, of course, but for this, there's a constant tension from the moment that you start the rep until the moment that you end the rep. As long as you're going at the right speed, you're focusing on that movement, that contraction is just far superior to the one I would get on dumbbells. Again, 3 seconds down. Look at that tricep popping out though. My goodness. Am I doing shoulders or arms? Frickin' hell. Let's go. Drive. And again, just to reiterate, I am not a fitness expert. I have my habits, I have my preferences, and obviously I've got a coach that directs me into certain movements. So whatever I do, you don't necessarily have to take verbatim. I'm not here to tell you how to lift. I'm here to show you how I lift, make recommendations based on what I do, but that's all it is. So if there's something there that you don't agree with, or you do differently, or you think that I'm doing wrong, that's fine. Make sure you tell me as well, because I learn. Everyone learns. No one is born an expert at anything. So I'm more than happy to take on any advice or criticism that somebody might have for me, or vice versa. If there's something you've enjoyed that you want to know more about or see more of, reach out to me and let me know, because again, as much as I want to learn, I would love to help others as well. Look at that tricep popping out. That is, my God. I'm sorry for the guy that I've essentially pointed a camera at in the background as well. That's one thing I'm still getting used to, is the caveat of filming in the gym. Is it okay to point it towards someone? Is it not? No one has complained as of yet, but you do get a couple of shifty looks your direction. Right, so finishing off here with some triceps, and the tricep rope extension is probably my favorite. The contraction I get pushing straight through into the ground, especially on that inner head of the tricep, is fantastic. And as you can see, if you sort of look closely as it goes down, the engagement of that tricep there the whole way through. And the same as every other movement, controlling the way up, try and fix those elbows. The elbows are a pivot and nothing more. Keep them fixed into position. Ideally, you've got your shoulders retracted, your chest up, and your elbows tucked back as well. Bit of a better angle this time. So again, notice the elbows, little to no movement in them whatsoever. And we're driving those hands right down, complete that rep, push straight down into the ground. Keep those hands apart the whole way through the movement, keeping them further away the further down the rep you go. Now again, there's multiple variations of this movement, different handles which will do different angles. I just feel like as a complete movement, the rope is a superior handle to use, but you can use the triangle bar, the straight bar, and each of them are going to have a different benefit to them. And I suppose it depends on what part of your tricep you're trying to develop. It depends on what movement you feel most comfortable with. Do you have any elbow pain? There's no right or wrong answer, essentially. Now, this is the last set of this particular movement. Again, we'll move the camera around to try and give a bit of a different perspective of what position the body's in, the elbows. The weight's nothing crazy. To be honest, I don't necessarily have very strong triceps. It's something we'll build on as well. So, I had a complete moment when I forgot to plug the audio in. So I spent the first half of my workout having a conversation for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And I'm assuming that happens to people all the time. So I'm not going to beat myself up too much about it. And I'll just try my first voiceover to compensate. So I apologize in advance for that amateur mistake, and I'll make sure next time the light is flashing on the Rode Wireless Me. But workout's done and dusted. First workout done after being back from the weekend off. Feeling pretty good. I wore my new Gymshark top that I got in the Gymshark store. And yeah, I felt okay. Got a decent pump. And physique wise, we were just at the start of bulking, so we have so much more to go over the next year. Stick around for that journey, because what you see now is not what you're going to see in 3 months' time, and it's definitely not what you're going to see this time next year. So I'm happy with where we're at. I did try to do a bit of a physique update, but there was a class going on, so I couldn't. So I promise that this week I'll get a physique update done, show you what I'm looking at with no top on, and we'll just take it from there. So thanks.